Hello, this should be on the YouTube channel James 13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks I'm using are listed below. Other than that, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. What do we have for Sagittarius? The next door is opening. Not everybody has to like it. You need to like it, but not everybody needs to like it. The next door is opening for you. Whatever's going on here, it's happening. We'll come back to that if you need to. There's a message. A message. What do we mean by that? So like, I keep looking at this between the magician's hands, which is some type of something. Symbols. I see the elements there. There's other things there too. So it's almost like, you know, the message has been coming for a while, and I feel like I got it. I do think you've made your decision. I do think you know where your success lies. Not everybody agrees with what you're about to do. But I also kind of feel like maybe they don't need to. You know, maybe they don't need to. There's a little bit of fear with this. What is that at the top? Okay, that's the number 9. There's a little bit of fear with this, but like typically when I connect things in an astrological way, Sagittarius is a very calming influence. It chills some more aggressive energies out usually. And I feel like even though there's stress with this, it depends how long you sit with it, because you're busy, you're doing things. So if you don't let it linger too long, I feel like you can use that stress to your advantage and just kind of like notice what you need to handle and what you don't. Oh, I don't think this person's going to like that. How often do I have to deal with them? Does it really matter if they like it or not? Versus this other person, I deal with them all the time, or this is going to happen to them after I do make my choice, so maybe I should go forward and deal with them. There's stress about you choosing your Ace of Cups. There's stress about this, which doesn't have to be romance. Could be romance related. It's definitely a passion. It's something you want. It does not have to be about like literal romance, just to be fair. And there's a lot coming in with this. You already know what you're going to do. I keep getting you already know. And the stress of me making my choice seems to be a lot of it. Does it say pleasure or happiness? Happiness. It's weird because it's a very positive, happy, uplifting energy, right? But why does it have to be so held down? There are people here who are not going to like it. They're giving this heads up, like, because you're making a change, and people might feel like they're not a part of this next revolution in your life. The world card's always coming in too. They don't want to be left behind, but whether they are or not, they're going to be upset that there's a change here. There's people here who are going to be completely devastated that you're making a change. How you relate to the situation is different. It reminds me of people who they used to cook constantly, but then life changed and they had different responsibilities. And now they cook once in a great while. Does it mean you can't have a connection here anymore? I don't think so. But whatever else is coming in, it's taking up a lot of your energy. Ace of Cups is coming in with the Ace of Wands. There's a lot of passion coming in, a lot for you to do, a lot that you want to do. So it just reminds me of, like, you know, when life changes, it's kind of like, I keep getting the cooking thing for whatever reason. It doesn't have to have anything to do with that, but it's kind of like there's a lot of love and effort that goes into that, choosing the ingredients, putting things together, making new dishes. And it's kind of like, if you don't have the life that supports putting in that time and effort anymore, and you're like, we got to do something different, somebody else has to do part of this, I can't do this all myself anymore, blah, 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 blah. You may do it on occasion still, but it may not be something you do every day, morning, noon, and night anymore. You'll probably keep what you really, whatever means the most, a smaller percentage. I just keep equating it to cooking. And I keep thinking morning, noon, and night. Like, you know, or could be morning and night. Like some people, if they have the time, they'll cook breakfast, and then when their family gets home, they'll cook dinner. But when things get really busy and you're like, hey, y'all, like the kids get older and they're not eating every time anyway, and it's kind of like, I'm not going to put in the effort to make all this food, and maybe somebody will eat it. Maybe you can fund for yourself if that's how we're going to do it. Maybe that. Whatever it is, you've already made your choice. Not everybody's going to like it. It is what it is. It's going to start happening anyway, is what they're giving you the heads up. Your energy is ever moving, ever flowing. It's going to start happening anyway. You're going to just start doing it. You're going to start going in that direction. You're going to start shutting things down as appropriate. There's a choice here. You could just kind of let it happen and just let people figure it out as it goes. It's not the best way, but it's one way. Or bring it forward and you can bring in something better with that. I don't understand what that means. Okay, there's more. There's like 4 cards. Instead of just avoiding it, addressing it head on, it's a better outcome. Sun card shows up. The stress goes away. It's kind of like if people have something to say, they'll say it. But once it's done, it's done. It also opens the door for other people. It lets people know, hey, Sag isn't doing that anymore. There's an opening here. If somebody wants it, go right ahead. Sag just said they're done with that. They may do it once in a great while, but they're no longer going to take the lead on that. Not anymore. They're done with that. It opens the door for somebody else to step in. The Justice card comes in, and the 3 of Wands. Things change, and that's fine. I feel like I can be at peace with this, and then I just feel like I have a positive connection with it down the road. Initially, people aren't going to like it. Once it's done, it's done. I feel like they'll find a way to make peace with it. I don't think I need to kind of worry about that. Like, you have to do what you have to do. It's other people's choice to make peace with it or not. So it's like free will is a real thing, if you follow me. So should they be upset with you? I don't think so, the way this feels. But if they choose to be, that's on them, and just leave it with them. That's what I would say with that. Is there anything else with this part before I go to the ending? Because I feel like we're getting there pretty quickly. The Justice card comes in again. It's here twice. Some people need some time. They may not communicate with you. You might feel like some people have some distance from you for a while. It's probably not going to be permanent, but some people, they may shun you for a little while over this. You're going to be real busy anyway. You're not going to notice that much, believe it or not. It might be one of those things where you find out later that they were shunning you, and you're like, oh, you were? I was so busy, I didn't even notice. It may be one of those things. You got to do what you got to do. Justice card comes in again saying this is okay. There's nothing wrong with this. When I gave that analogy, I feel like they're saying give the other side too, because there's a choice with that. You don't have to say you didn't notice. You can just go, oh, and just go do something else. You don't have to speak to it. Because you probably didn't notice. If they were shunning you, a lot of you aren't even going to notice, and then they'll make a point of it afterwards. You don't have to speak to it. You can just go, oh, and just go do something else. Oh, and just do, or you don't even have to say that if you don't want to. You can just walk away from that conversation. Because if you say something where you didn't even notice, that might re-energize the situation, which I don't feel like serves you. It's up to you. They're just saying there's an option to that. You decide what's right for you. Because I get like, oh, I didn't even notice. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta do what you think is right. Whatever you learn from the situation that you're walking away from, that's always going to be yours. The history of the situation will always be yours. And what it was a blessing for when it was there. It was what you needed it to be, and you're Sag. Sag is ever changing. Sagittarius is ever changing. It is what it is. It was what it was, and now it's something else. There's nothing wrong with that. You're moving forward, like with the phases of the moon here. It's kind of like saying, even though the moon goes through 12 different full moons in a year, 13 technically, right? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to say 12 because it goes through 12 different zodiac signs. So it's even like the full moon from when your birthday came around to 6 months later, it's a different energy. It's just the point. So it goes through, it cycles through. There's nothing wrong with that. When you put this at peace, when you put this to bed peacefully, going forward directly, informing people of what you're doing, it frees up whatever was in your way before. You got all these new things coming in. You got more things that you want, other things you'd rather be doing now. It's going to free up that energy. You can go forward towards that peacefully. It's going to take up a lot of your time. I think the overall energy, which I'm not trying to make it sound negative, and hopefully it doesn't sound negative, is kind of like people may be mad. Yes, that's true. But you're going to be so busy, you're barely going to notice if you even do. So, I don't know. Take that where you got to take it. It's an easier, smoother transition. More comes to you by just heading towards it directly, shutting it down, handing it over, and going on where you want to. I feel like that's easier than ghosting it, because I feel like if I ghost it, like I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder and I don't need to, and it takes up too much energy anyway. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.